you fire yet another email off to this one to exam review at riskeducation.org. Put exam review request in the subject line and tell them who you are, when you took the exam, and all that kind of stuff. And they'll have your email because you sent them an email, and then I'll give you an exam review that'll say something like, on section 1, you scored substantially above 70%. That's your cue that you don't have to spend lots of time on that because you really nailed that. You scored slightly above on section 2. That means you need to spend more effort on that one when you do a retake. You scored substantially below. That means that was a tough area, so you got to spend more time when you do the retake. So it guides you on that, or it'll give you comments like, several of your questions, I asked for 2 things and you gave me 1. So make sure you do what we say, what we ask, that kind of thing. Occasionally it'll be identify and explain. Sometimes people identify and they forget to explain, so you'll get some hints on that if you simply didn't answer questions, for whatever reason. Covered this already a couple times. Figure on close to 20, somewhere between 60 and 80 subparts, little part 1A, 1B, 1C, that kind of stuff. That's how we round it out. So I do cover lots of material, which is a challenge because you need to study more of it. But the advantage is, if there's something that totally befuddles you, there's probably not going to be a ton of points in it. So it's a trade-off. This is the way I often ask questions, particularly when it's a listy type question. It'll say something like, there's 5 steps in the risk management process, one of which is risk identification or risk financing or risk control, whatever. And then I will say, identify or list 2 of the other 4 steps. And then I'll say, okay, let's circle back around. Why was that one I picked the most important step? Or what does that mean? What does define what risk financing means? Something like that. And then I would expect you to answer. These are simple, straightforward answers. You can just put down a couple of words. In this case, you could just say risk analysis, risk control, risk finance, risk admin, or use the title of the courses. Simple, straightforward. You don't have to write sentences. Not an English course, not a rhetoric course. Just blast down the answers, and I'll figure it out. Don't hyperventilate over spelling. Don't even tell me if you don't know how to spell it. Somebody tried to spell facultative the other day and it came out like something else. But I knew what they meant from the other words. I knew they just misspelled it. So don't worry about that kind of stuff. But don't just stuff in there, because I can tell if you know it or not. I'm like Joe Friday. All I want are the facts, just the answers. That's all, just the answers. Tomorrow, I will be final exam briefing, and I'll give you the final question count, and I'll give you the final subpart count, so you'll know. For example, in question or in sectors, say 3 questions and 12 subparts for a total of 25 points, something like that. But I already gave you the basic rule. It's 25 points for every 2 hours. So that's 25, 25. Today we've spent 4 hours. That's 50. 4 hours 4. So it's 50 and 50. That tells you what it is. This is how you can get a hold of me for if you got technical questions about the course or about any of these 4 courses, or the 5 courses, or if you want to talk about Shakespeare, Oscar Wilde, Rotary International, Scouting America, laws of soccer. Those are my my powerful subjects. If you want to talk about calculus or chemistry, no, I'm not the guy. If you ask, here's a question. If you ask for 2 things and I give you 3 and only 2 are right, you get the points for the 2 and I ignore the 1 that's wrong. So, you can put down as much as you want, but remember, you might run short on time, so use some common sense. But if I ask for 2, you don't need to give me 5. Okay, that's pointless. So, okay, so famous reindeer 2, you can remember that. Rich Rudolph, the most famous reindeer of all. Famous reindeer 2 at Yahoo. You can go to my website, famousreindeer.com, or you can text me on the cell phone, leave a name, number, say CRM or risk finance or something like that, and I'll get back to you. Like most of you, I know you get as many spam calls as I do, so I don't respond unless I know to whom I will be speaking. So that's how you can do that. Any last minute questions? Eagerly waiting to see the question marks move, and it's not moving. And okay, so remember, tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, we'll be there. Ted, thank you for your help today, and we will see you folks tomorrow. Have a good one.
All right, thank you. See you in the morning.